Luffy. When Monkey D. Luffy first stomps out of that tiny East Blue village, he looks like a goofy kid with a straw hat and zero filters. Nobody watching could have predicted the full arc. The rubber kid who ate what everyone thought was the Gomu Gomu no Mi, growing into something that makes the world government lose actual sleep. Early Luffy is all raw willpower and instinct over technique. Those Gomu Gomu no pistol punches against Buggy and Arlong read like a kid discovering he's made of elastic and pure stubbornness. The real turning point hits at Enies Lobby, where desperation sparks invention. Gear 2 and Gear 3 arrive like a gamer finding hidden mechanics. Luffy literally pumps his blood like a turbo engine and becomes a lightning-fast blur, then inflates his fist to crush Lucci. Those moments announce that Luffy's creativity with his devil fruit knows no polite boundaries. He improvises whole powers out of survival. The time skip is the formal graduation. Training with Rayleigh unlocks Haki, giving Luffy the fundamental tools to stand with the world's heavyweights. Gear 4 during Dressrosa proves the rubber kid went full monster. Bound Man brings tank-like power, Snake Man brings unpredictable speed, and each form is surgically tailored to the fight. Luffy evolves from improviser to strategist, who weaponizes his body and imagination. Wano detonates the meter. The Gear 5 awakening rewrites the rulebook. The fruit is revealed as Hito Hito no Mi, model Nika, and Luffy becomes a living embodiment of liberation. Cartoon physics become a literal combat style. The battlefield turns into elastic playgrounds, and freedom itself turns tactile. Watching him fight Kaido with environment-bending moves and finally land the Bajrang gun that puts down the world's strongest creature is the synthesis of every scar, dream, and furious laugh he's collected. The most powerful thing about Luffy's evolution is that his core never corrupts. He's still the same idiot who shares his food with enemies and cries over a busted ship, but now he shoulders Joy Boy's mantle while keeping that innocent, explosive wonder. Finally, the arc from Rubber Kid who couldn't save Ace to the man who can square off against the Five Elders is more than power scaling. It's becoming worthy of the dreams people hang on him. Every gear, every Haki breakthrough, every impossible win is a step toward making the free world he's always imagined. Luffy's story stays simple at heart, keeps moving forward, keeps laughing, and keeps making everyone around him believe that freedom is worth fighting for.
Just a second, thank you to everyone who's been with us since day one. And now, welcome to the Grand Line. Besides the epic ninja world of Naruto, we're also diving into the wild, fun, and emotional adventures of Luffy and his crew. We'll laugh, cry, and go all out together on this journey. So, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join the crew. Who knows, maybe you're the missing piece we need to reach the One Piece. Next, let's get back to
Zoro. Let's talk about the green-haired menace swinging 3 swords like it's the most normal thing in the world. That's Roronoa Zoro when we first meet him in Chapter 3, a lone wolf bounty hunter with a dream so big it sounds like he's trolling, becoming the world's strongest swordsman. Well, Oda didn't make him the usual shonen second lead who needs rescuing. This guy walked in already certified badass from day one. Born in Shimotsuki Village, he trained at Kuina's family dojo until tragedy struck. After Kuina's death, he took the sacred Wado Ichimonji and carried on the shared dream of the two of them. Recent hints in the manga even suggest Zoro might be connected by blood to Wano's legendary samurai Ryuma, which means the man's destiny came pre-installed. What makes Zoro's power evolution so wild is how Oda built it piece by piece. The Mihawk encounter at Baratie was the reality check that smacked the arrogance right out of him and forged his real warrior spirit. Then in Alabasta, he awakened the ability to hear the breath of all things, casually slicing steel like it was cheap wrapping paper. That was basically Haki before Haki was even a thing. Post-time skip, training under Mihawk, the same guy he swore to surpass, showed Zoro's biggest flex, swallowing his pride to protect his crew's dreams over his own. After this period, he mastered 2 types of Haki, especially armament Haki. And then came Wano, where Zoro went full, your GPS has been recalibrated to hell mode. Awakening Conqueror's Haki while wielding Enma, Odin's legendary blade, he leveled up into the elite tier of monsters. In the Egghead arc, Zoro proved himself as the sharpest blade of the Straw Hats when he faced off against S-Hawk, Mihawk's clone created by Vegapunk. With advanced Conqueror's Haki, he unleashed sword strikes strong enough to match the Seraphim, showing that the gap between him and his goal of surpassing Mihawk is steadily closing. Sanji. Vinsmoke. Sanji starts as the elegant chef on the seas, but in fact, he's a genetically modified prince from an assassin family who escaped relentless childhood abuse and found salvation with Zeph, the former pirate who literally sacrificed his own leg to keep them both alive after a wreck. That bond forges Sanji's core, sacrifice, a creed that food equals life, and scars from being branded worthless by his bloodline. The Wano stretch is the tectonic shift. Fans finally get the answer to those mysterious flames as Sanji awakens his modified physiology mid-raid, stacks armament haki on top, and debuts Ifrit Jinbe, brilliant blue fire that hits harder, burns hotter, and rides boosted speed and durability like a comet. The cook stops being stylish striker and starts reading as a straight-up battlefield monster. Sanji's refusal to hit women cost him early fights, but I like this about him. We saw that Sanji calls for Robin, not surrender, but trust, handing the exact opponent to the exact teammate and proving he values victory without violating his code. Then comes the raid suit finale. Instead of clinging to germatech that symbolizes his trauma, Sanji destroys it, choosing the strength born from his own body and the bonds with his crew. From the failure of a superhuman family to the thing they could never mass-produce, a warrior with terrifying firepower and an unbreakable moral compass. Sanji's arc stays crystal clear. The isolated gentleman turns into a bedrock pillar of the crew. He will absolutely punch your teeth across the deck for wasting food or disrespecting women, and now he does it wreathed in blue flames that look frankly divine. That's real evolution, the core intact, the potential finally ignited, and the heat turned all the way up. Nami. When we first meet Nami in East Blue, she's out here hustling under Arlong's boot, rocking that innocent smile while plotting 16 moves ahead. Her backstory is so tragic. Orphaned on a battlefield, scooped up by ex-Marine Bellamere, raised in Kokoyasi village. Then Arlong rolls in like the rent collector from hell, kills Bellamere, takes over the village, and forces Nami into drawing maps for his empire. So what does our girl do? She bites her tongue, plays the long con, and starts stacking cash. At the start, she's not rocking devil fruits, hockey, or superhuman anything. She's got raw brains, insane navigation skills, and the social manipulation of a pro scammer. Then Alabasta hits, and Usopp hands her the Climatact, which, let's be honest, was basically a party trick stick at first. But Nami turns that joke weapon into a legit weather-controlled death wand, frying opponents like Miss Doublefinger while making it look like science homework. Then came the time skip. She pulls up to Weatheria, learns from actual meteorologists, and comes back with sorcery Climatact upgrades so wild she's basically running a personal thunderstorm subscription service. Fog, wind, lightning that can roast a dinosaur, all in the day's work for the Straw Hat Weather Witch. And then, Wano. Zeus, a literal talking thundercloud from Big Mom's arsenal, joins the squad. Now Nami is out here deleting Toboropo mid-battle with that Thunder Lance tempo. That's not I can fight too energy, that's Fear the Weather Goddess energy. The Egghead arc turns Nami into a full-on storm, with Zeus now fully integrated into the sorcery Climatact. She unleashes terrifying lightning strikes to take on the Seraphim, even going up against high-tech robots. Her role as navigator reaches its peak as she guides the Thousand Sunny through the Navy's dense blockade, calculating every gust of wind to escape danger. Robin. Here she is, the Devil of Ohara. Under that icy poker face, she was hauling around the weight of an entire civilization's erased history. Born on Ohara, the island of scholars, Robin was already reading poneglyphs at age 8. Then the world government went full delete history mode and wiped her entire home off the map. Imagine being the sole survivor of a genocide, branded as the world's most wanted criminal before you even know your times tables, all because you can read ancient rocks that spill the tea on the void century. For the next 20 years, she lived on the run, trusting no one because in her life, betrayal was a death sentence. The Hana Hana no Mi was basically her trust issues in fruit form. At first, those extra limbs were all business, assassination, spying, escape. Keep enemies far away, keep allies even farther. But then came Enies Lobby, and the moment that broke the internet before the internet was even ready. I want to live. It was Robin uninstalling solo survival mode and downloading crew protection DLC. Suddenly, those same hands that used to end lives were now catching her friends when they fell. Post-time skip, she started pulling out moves like Mille Fleur, Gigantesco Mano, where she just drops a giant hand from the sky like God got bored. Those weren't just more arms. They were proof she'd leveled up into a full Straw Hat combatant. And then, Wano. Robin went full horror movie with Demonio Fleur, turning into a literal demon-to-body Black Maria. That wasn't just a power-up. It was Robin flipping the Devil of Ohara slur into a brand. She chose to become the monster they feared, and she did it while smiling and promising her loyalty to the crew. Chef's kiss. The Egghead arc brings Robin closer to the secrets of the Void Century as she analyzes information from Vegapunk about Joy Boy and the hidden history. Robin's strategic role also shines as she teams up with Chopper and Atlas to decode Vegapunk's technology, all while keeping the Straw Hat crew's morale high during their escape from the island. Jinbe. Jinbe carries the weight of his people's struggle and a dream big enough to bridge two worlds that spent centuries at each other's throats. He witnesses Fisher Tiger's death, watches fishmen suffer under human oppression, and makes the hard call to become a warlord purely to protect Fishman Island. Then Marineford hits, and he throws that title in the trash to save Luffy and Ace, a move that screams principles over politics. The 5,000-tile true punch he plants while staring down Admiral Akainu reads as instant legend. That's a statement piece you feel in your sternum. Jinbei's evolution isn't a glow-up montage. The man arrives already complete. Fishman karate is at master level. Elegant water manipulation fused with devastating strikes that could shatter mountains. So the power-up arc shifts inward. The growth is about trusting Luffy's dream completely and learning to fit inside a crew after years of being the responsible adult in every room. Wano seals it. Jinbei officially becomes a Straw Hat and walks into Who's Who like it's a performance review. The Demon Tile Punch lands as a thesis on experience, hockey mastery, and refined Fishman karate, all delivered with that unshakable, composed demeanor. One Toby Rappo handled, status as heavy hitter confirmed, heartbeat still at resting. His value blasts past raw power. He's the crew's anchor, literally as helmsman steering through nightmare waters, and figuratively as the calm voice when the plot catches fire. Egghead doubles down. Jinbei coordinates the Thousand Sunny's movements while simultaneously fending off Seraphim. Tactical brain online, combat engine roaring, ship safe, crew breathing. Jinbei fills a lane no one else does. He serves an incredibly noble role, fishing devil fruit users out of the sea when they fall in. Franky. Super. You hear that? And you already know who's coming down the street. A shirtless, Speedo-wearing, pompadour-rocking cyborg who can breathe fire, fire missiles, and change his hairstyle faster than Sanji can light a cigarette. When we Franky him in Water 7, he was this chaotic shipwright with the energy of a rock concert and the emotional baggage of a soap opera. Underneath the loud voice and wilder than Water 7 fashion sense, though, was a golden heart, and a secret that could literally reshape the world. Abandoned by his parents, he was raised by Tom, the legendary shipwright who literally built the Oro Jackson for the Pirate King. Then the world government used Franky's own Battle Franky ships to frame Tom. Watching his father figure die because of something he built broke him so badly. He rebuilt his body into a cyborg. Franky's pre-time skip power set was basically angry Swiss Army knife. Strong right punches, coup de vent air cannons, and the classic flame breath, flashy, powerful, but still rough around the edges. Then Enies Lobby happened, and Franky burned the Pluton blueprints. And then, the time skip turned him from a garage-built cyborg into a one-man weapons lab. 2 years in Vegapunk's abandoned lab on Karakuri Island upgraded him to Battle Franky 37, and the Franky Shogun alone is basically a personal Gundam that runs on cola and attitude. Now we have Radical Beam. It's Vegapunk-level tech. Franky doesn't upgrade just to flex. Every bolt, every beam, every ridiculous hairstyle swap serves his real dream, to build and sail the perfect ship. The Thousand Sunny is Franky's love letter to adventure, crafted from atom wood and equipped with nonsense like Coupe de Burst that lets the crew literally yeet their way out of danger. Wano gave us Franky versus Sasaki, and watching him win with a mix of brute force, ridiculous tech, and pure joy was perfect. In the Egghead arc, Franky was like a fish in water when he gained access to Vegapunk's cutting-edge technology. He used the radical beam to take on the Seraphim, turning those supposedly invincible robots into scrap with a single shot. And he didn't stop at just fighting. Franky also helped repair the island's equipment, proving his engineering genius is on par with the best in the world. This is a man who will happily build you the ship of your dreams in the morning, demolish an enemy stronghold in the afternoon, and cry about friendship at night. Usopp, the man with a slingshot, a survival instinct sharper than Zoro's swords, and the most ambitious dream in the entire crew, to become a brave warrior of the sea. Back in Syrup Village, he was basically your neighborhood storyteller, with a 100% totally real resume of heroic feats. But hidden under those tall tales was a stubborn little ember of courage and a bloodline twist that could shoot him straight into the history books. Born the son of Usopp, yes, the sniper from Shanks' crew, Usopp grew up filling that empty space with lies so big they could be seen from the Grand Line. But those lies were Usopp speaking his own future into existence, like self-help affirmations, but with more screaming. The beauty of Usopp's evolution is that it's earned. No devil fruit, no superhuman body, just raw determination, engineering skills, and, yeah, a slingshot. Then came Enies Lobby, the birth of Soga King. That mask was Usopp's cheat code to unlock the courage he'd been stockpiling since day one. The impossible shot to save Robin from hundreds of meters away was the moment his father's legendary accuracy kicked in, and his own warrior's heart finally clocked in for work. Post-time skip, Usopp went from support sniper to please do not stand in his line of sight. Training on the Boyne Archipelago, aka Murder Plant Island, turned him into a tactical nightmare for enemies. Pop greens are chef's kiss. Usopp genius, ammo that sprouts into carnivorous plants, explosive flowers, or binding vines. Then, Dressrosa happened. The moment observation hockey awakened and God Usopp was born. That absurdly long-range shot to knock out Sugar? Peak Usopp. One bullet, thousands of lives saved, and a kingdom that now treats him like a divine being. You know, he didn't ask for worship, he just wanted to not die. But yeah, heroes are born in strange ways. See, every upgrade, every impossible shot, every time he chooses to stand his ground, it's a victory over fear. He's the guy who can rig Nami's climb attack, whip up new ammo on the fly, and still be the loudest one yelling when things go south. He's living proof that you don't have to be born a monster to become one. Sometimes you just need guts, brains, and a slingshot that's way too overpowered for its own good. Brook. Brook enters the story drifting through the eerie Florian Triangle like a haunted concert flyer come to life, a walking, talking skeleton with an immaculate afro, elegant fencing form, and a shameless habit of cracking panties jokes. But underneath sits a tragic soul carrying 50 years of loneliness and a devil fruit toolkit that ultimately rivals Yonko-level abilities in sheer hacks potential. His origin plays like a sad ballad. Once a royal guard turned pirate musician with the Rumbar Pirates, he lived his best life until poison wiped out the entire crew. The Yomi Yomi no Mi pulled his soul back from the other side, but by the time he located his body, it had decayed to bare bones. He spent half a century trapped as a skeleton, clinging to sanity through music and a single promise: reunite with Laboon, the massive whale waiting at Reverse Mountain. The time skip flips the switch. While the rest of the crew stacks traditional power, Brook leans into the supernatural and discovers the true range of his devil fruit. Soul projection lets him separate soul from body and function as the perfect spy, a floating ghost gathering intel while everyone looks past the air. The upgrade that breaks minds is soul domination. Brook directly overpowers other souls. Whole Cake Island confirms the threat level when he neutralizes Big Mom's homies like it's routine maintenance. His freezing sword work becomes the elegant murder music of the Soul King. Channeling otherworldly cold through Soul Solid, he freezes opponents solid mid-duet, all while maintaining that refined fencing style. It lands like a classical musician conducting a symphony of destruction. Tony Chopper. Chopper was born different, literally blue-nosed from day one. Then he ate the human fruit, which should have been cool, but instead turned him into something that fit nowhere. Too human for the deer squad, too deer for the human squad. And just to twist the knife, his first big, "I'm gonna help my friend," the moment ended with him accidentally poisoning Hiluluk. Yes, Our boy started his medical career with a body count. But here's where it gets spicy. Chopper's powers evolved alongside his mental game. Early rumble balls were absolute chaos. He'd pop one, transform into something random, and half the time end up scaring his own crew. And don't even get me started on Monster Point back then. It was like his Hulk form, but with zero chill, just raw, please don't eat me energy. Then came the time skip. Torino Kingdom. Chopper learns Kung Fu Point, gets buff in the most adorable gym rat way possible, and most importantly, stops hating the monster inside him. And when he finally gains full control over Monster Point, that's a mental health arc. The thing that once made him terrified of himself becomes his most reliable mess with my crew and I'll flatten your house move. And don't think he's just the mascot. This man is the Straw Hat's doctor, the one who patched up Luffy from literal death in Impel Down, cured the mink tribe on Zoo, and in Wano, just casually developed a cure for Queen's zombie ice plague while throwing kaiju hands in Monster Point. Chopper's whole deal is basically a love letter to outsiders. He went from a self-loathing misfit to a confident, life-saving warrior doctor, proving that your so-called flaws can turn into your biggest flex. And honestly, if a 2-foot-tall reindeer can become a towering monster who saves the day, you have no excuse not to believe in yourself. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.